When I first came here over 20 years ago, I thought Bangkok would be a pretty easy city to negotiate because I'd just come from London where I knew the bus system, the rail system, the tube system like the back of my hand. So I knew it all, right? So I thought. Anyway, I set out to learn the bus system of Bangkok that fateful day, and I went on a hell of an adventure. I'm going to try and recreate those steps today. If you're new to Bangkok, bloody dog. If you're new to Bangkok, then the bus system probably looks very intimidating and chaotic, but fear not, it's actually very well organised. And if you've got an app like Viabus, you'll know exactly where your nearest bus stop is, how long it's going to be, where it's going, and more importantly, if it's air conditioned or not. Today is probably not the ideal day to be encouraging bus travel, but I've got all day. I'm going to wait for the weather to clear up. I'm undercover anyway, and then we're going to be on our way. So I jumped on the number 8 bus and we left Victory Monument, went along Phahonyothin Road, through RE Sapan Kwai, past Chatuchak Park, over Lat Phrao Intersection, and as we're speeding along Lat Phrao Road 20 minutes later, I'm thinking, right, I'm going to jump off the bus in 5 bus stops time, regardless of where I am, I'm going to have a look around. So I found myself around the Chokchai Soi 4 area off Lat Phrao Road, and this is actually quite a big neighbourhood. It's not just one street. And I remember walking around thinking to myself at the time, this is so surreal. This is what a normal neighbourhood looks like away from the tourist areas, and I really wish I had my bloody camera. Anyway, I thought as we're here, let's have a quick look around. Well, I'm sweating. It's 3 extremes today, weather-wise. Clouds, rain, now it's blazing hot again. And I had to walk a little bit further down the canal because there's some dogs behind the fences on that side, and they sound pretty fierce. Anyway, this is the Klong Nam Khao, and I noticed there's actually a ladder going into the water, and I'm not tempted by that at all. Plus, I didn't bring my budgie smugglers. Anyway, Chokchai Soi 4 neighbourhood, what can I say about it? Well, it's got all mod cons, it's got lots of 70s classic architecture, the concrete brutalist kind that is. Lots of messy wires, you can't really ask for more. I suppose you could call it the classic nondescript urban Bangkok neighbourhood. And if you're a foreigner who wants to go native, then this is the kind of place you want to be heading for. Motorbike taxi guy told me that there's a huge neighbourhood that's about to be demolished further down the road, and it's going to be developed into a condo. So let's go and have a quick look at that, and then we'll be on our way. Well, this is going to be happening a lot more along Lat Phrao Road. Land prices have shot up over the last 5 or 10 years due to the MRT line mostly. And this particular plot of land, which includes Chokchai market and lots of entertainment venues, small businesses, shops and residents who have been here for decades, all have to move on. It's all going to be razed to the ground to build a new condo. Chokchai market, a lot of goodies for sale here, especially if you're hungry. Anyway, what I said earlier about this market being demolished along with the neighbourhood around the corner, I was wrong, it's actually staying. But when this new condo does get built, surely this market and the buildings around it are going to cramp the style of all the high-sos and the yuppies that are going to be moving in. I've got my dinner. This is khao khao mu, that is stewed pork leg, and I might even post a picture a little bit later, as I'm in the mood for posting food pictures. Anyway, that means this magical mystery tour will resume first thing in the morning. After looking around Chokchai 4, I got back onto a bus, and this is an air-conditioned bus, so it's nice and cool. And I'm sitting there wondering where am I going to go next, and I'm hungry. I thought if I see somewhere out the window that looks appetizing, I'll jump off the bus. Anyway, the conductor comes round and he says, "Where are you going?" And of course I had no idea really. And he says, "The mall." I thought, oh right, there must be a shopping mall. I say, okay, 12 baht. And the bus is sitting in traffic, it's going really slowly. I'm tired, I'm hungry. And I fell asleep a couple of times, only for about a minute. Anyway, I fell asleep properly for about 30 minutes and I woke up. The bus is at the end of the route, it's parked in a lay-by. And I thought to myself, where the hell am I? And why hasn't the driver or the conductor even bothered to wake me up? So I got off the bus, I saw the conductor. He said, okay, the mall. If you walk 300 meters, turn right and then left. It's there, the mall Bangkapi. I thought, oh great, it's not far. Anyway, I'm walking along the street past the bus stop and a bus goes by and there's a bloke leaning out the window of the bus shouting out, the mall, the mall. I thought, oh, this bus will take me there. So I got on that bus and little did I know that the guy on the bus was talking about a completely different mall, far, far away. Anyway, as we're in Bangkapi right now, I thought, let's have a quick look around and I'll give you a 60-second guide to the area. This is the kind of area that an optimistic estate agent would describe as colourful and vibrant, which roughly translates into chaotic and noisy, as you know. It's always been hard to get here. The best way in is by canal boat. That will change within a couple of years because there are 2 new MRT lines opening stations nearby, the yellow and the orange lines. What is there to do around here? Well, quite a lot actually. There's 2 shopping malls, there's a few cinemas, there's a lot of markets, a lot to buy, a lot to see, a lot to eat of course. And I was reading an article about the future of this area. There's a lot of condos being built. And this article said that when a lot of people with a lot of money move around here, many locals are going to be forced to move on. And if you know this area, you'll know it's a very crowded place. So I was thinking to myself, as I read the article, that's a hell of a lot of people to have to move on. So I'm always skeptical about what people write about places like this. It's worth visiting if you're in the area, but don't go out of your way. So I thought as we're in the area, we'll visit this famous plane wreck. There's been loads of videos on YouTube about it. There's loads of photos all the time on Twitter saying, oh, I've been here. But I read a comment saying the family were no longer letting people onto the land. And when I got here, the older lady said, no way, no way. And then her daughter came out a few minutes later and said, oh, are you going in? I said, okay, how much? 200 baht. So I've read stories online, people say, oh, the family are really unpleasant, all that kind of stuff. But been really nice. Anyway, after all, we are walking around on their land. Is it their land? I don't know, I don't really care. Let's get exploring. Well, if you've ever wondered what a plane is made up of, then look no further, because I recognise nearly every single part dumped here. And no, this is not the maintenance depot or spare parts depot for a certain airline that is still flying. No jokes, no names mentioned. But it's quite amazing. I'm just wondering about the origin of this plane here. What airline was it, where did it fly, and how did it end up here? If you got any ideas, leave a comment. I just saw a snake. It was about that long and it was green, quite light green. I reckon it's a tree snake from those palm trees, but this is perfect conditions for snakes, isn't it? It's sort of damp, there's water collected around here, long grass. Maybe that's why the lady didn't want to let me in the first place, for my own safety, not because of the flood water, but because of the snakes, because I couldn't actually understand what she was saying. Anyway, it's going to be dark soon, and if there are any ghosts inhabiting the shell of this plane, then I don't want to be around when they come out. I just asked the lady about ghosts and she said no, a flat no, none whatsoever, which is quite refreshing because in general quite a few Thais are very superstitious about the supernatural, and a lot of people I ask about ghost stories will always tell me some kind of ghost story. Like Udom Suk last week got told a really dodgy story. I did put it in the video. Anyway, what kind of ghosts would be inhabiting something like this anyway? Would they be lodging here temporarily? It's not like this plane crashed. Interesting. I'm wondering how the hell did they get it here? Did it arrive in one piece, or was it broken up and bought in trucks? Because that would have been very expensive, and to just dump it like this, maybe it was an insurance job. Anyway, I'm not making any allegations here. I think I'll have one more look around the nose, and then we'll call it a night, and I'll continue our journey tomorrow. The 92 bus is one of those routes that back in England we would say went round the houses, i.e. takes the long way round. But in this case it goes past the fields, the banana plantations, the swamps and the rice fields via Ramkhamhaeng Road, Minbury and Lat Phrao Road. After 20 minutes of breakneck speed with the wind coming in through the windows, I spied a railway station. I thought, civilization, I'm obviously nowhere near the mall. So I got out, and then this is Lat Krabang railway station. Back in those days there were no planes flying overhead here, so Suvarnabhumi Airport, which is about a kilometre away, was just a construction site, just beginning to be built. And the airport rail link, which is here, was a mere twinkle in the eye. Anyway, my phone rings, and my friend, he says, what are you doing today, where are you going? I said, I'm on my way to the mall, and I should be about an hour. He said, okay, I'll see you there for lunch. I said, brilliant, I'll see you soon. This time I'm not going to chance the train or any kind of public transport. I'm going to get a taxi and tell him quite clearly to take me to the mall in Bangkapi. So we're driving along Ramkhamhaeng Road, and eventually he turns right, up Ramkhamhaeng Road, past NASA Vegas Hotel, past Foodland on the left, and then I see the mall. I said, no, here, the mall. He said, okay, are you sure? I said, sure, yeah. So I got out of the taxi, and it turns out I'm at the mall, Ramkhamhaeng. So this is where I ended up, outside the mall, Ramkhamhaeng, which sadly is no longer with us, soon to be developed into a much bigger, better mall and an MRT Orange Line station. But the bus stop's still here though. I finally did meet my friend later that afternoon. We had a late lunch and saw a movie called Die Another Day, which goes to show how long ago this really was. And I finally got to saw the mall Bangkapi after hours and hours of what seemed like a mission to find. But it goes to show you can never really know Bangkok like the back of your hand. It's, what's the word I can use to describe Bangkok and its layout? Oh yeah, it's complicated.